morning, people. I guess you probably, well, you might see my face, but I don't. Close enough. So Saturday morning, we were out in the truck doing our stops. I'll say that. And stalled the truck up. I've got an 04 GMC Duramax, the LLY engine. Stalled the truck up at a stoplight, just messing around. Blew out the brake, stabbed it, fell on its face, threw a check engine light, and shut off. Well, to hell, I'd done that before. So I pulled over, and I have a programmer for the truck, but I only use it for the code reader portion of it. I got her for $50 from my guy when I bought the intake and stuff, so big deal. So anyways, scan the code, comes up as a fuel pressure regulator valve. It's showing low pressure. Did a bunch of reading on foriums, this and that. Change your fuel filter, it's 90% fixed. Fuel filters aren't that old. So when I stop here in about 10 minutes, I'll pop the hood. A lot of guys on here show that you got to take the alternator off to change this valve, this fuel pressure regulator valve. Just take the alternator off, take the AC compressor off, which means you got to evac and refill the AC system if yours works. Drain the coolant, which means you got to bleed that as well. No, you're not going to take any of that apart. None of it. I'm kind of wishing I would have done this yesterday when I was working on it, because I even told my wife that we should make a video of it. But there's some parts of this thing that are just so frustrating. 3 bolts, and they're like this, but they're like that. And this bolt here, you cannot see at all. And they're the factory bolts are at T25 Torx. And no, they're not a T25O, just a T25. No little button deal in the middle. So anyways, you gotta take the intake tube off, the EGR tube off, and then there's a tube that's bolted to the EGR tube, and that thing is set inside the, what I'm guessing is considered the intake manifold. It's got 2 O-rings on it. Anyways, that thing you just kind of put a screwdriver down in there. It's got ears on each side of it. Just wiggle, 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 pop. Putting it back in, not that easy. If I did use the truck every day for work, I do drywall, and his shop truck is down, so we're using mine at the moment. And so I mean, like, this thing had to be fixed today, no matter what. So anyways, what the truck was doing is it was really, like, I could not get on it more than like half throttle. It had a serious power loss, and it was just like an all of a sudden deal too. One thing I had been noticing was black smoke at idle. Nothing super bad, but I did see it. But I've been a mechanic 20 years, actually 20 plus years. I started when I was 9 years old. I'm 34 now, so actually almost 25 years. And when I was revving it up, it belched some black smoke. Not a serious amount, but enough to notice. So those were 2 signs to me that I had something going out. I just didn't want to mess with it. These engines are a nightmare to work on, and I don't enjoy working on this truck at all. I usually take it in and have whatever done, which is financially, I'm glad I'm in a position to be able to do that, but I just hate working on this truck. I cannot stand it. So anyways, Saturday when we got done with our stops, we picked the girls up from their grandma's and went back out to the truck about an hour after we got there, and I fired it up, put the car seats back in, shut the door, and as soon as I shut the door, the thing shut off. What in the world's going on? So it's fired up, cranked on it, cranked on it, cranked on it, and it would not start. So got the scanner out, checked the DTC's codes, no code. So I cranked on it, and finally came back to life. Just kept thinking, man, that's the only thing on a mechanical injection system that causes that's air in the line. So we got home, I parked the truck in the driveway, and usually I park it back behind a locked fence. Went inside, ate dinner, had a couple beers, fell asleep, woke up, went outside to move the truck, fired it up, lit right off like it always does.
In 2 miles, take exit 631 for Corning Road toward Corning.
Started backing it up, and it died. Oh, there's got to be a failed O-ring, or that regulator's bad, or something. So again, cranked on it, and cranked on it, and cranked on it. And these things, mine's an 04, or actually I think it's actually considered an 04.5. It only lets you sit on the starter for about 10-15 seconds. You gotta shut it off, open the door, shut the door, key back in, try it again. It takes about 3-4 times of holding it on max until it stops for it to fire up. So clearly to me, the knowledge I have on diesels, it's getting air in the line. Somewhere, somehow, etc. So to me, I thought I had a leak. So I'm looking everywhere for diesels spilling out of it somewhere, bleeding. Nothing anywhere. Again, to remind you, everybody's saying that a fuel filter is the fix. Now, this fuel filter's got like 15,000 miles on it or so. Yeah, it's probably time to change it again, just because I change the oil every 2,500. So big on maintenance. That's why this thing runs the way it does. Why it looks the way it does.
In half a mile, take exit 631 for Corning Road toward Corning.
So anyways, put the fuel pressure regulator valve in. So far, so good. Getting 15 miles a gallon towing, which is the best I've seen in a long time.
Take exit 631.
Be right back. I'll show you guys the other stuff when I'm stopped. Alright, I'm back. So, off. The white pipe in here comes off. This comes off. And what this is a bolted to down there. It's a little elbow. It's here. But what it's bolted to. That's a piece that wiggles out. Anyways, that sensor is right in here. And this hose right here, this one here, is connected to the white pipe up here, right there. What I did was I unbolted it right there, and I just folded mine over because I couldn't get mine to come undone. It undid the clamp, it would not slide apart. So I went ahead and undid it. Another thing too is down underneath those pipes, right next to that sensor, there's a piece of hose in there that goes from one metal pipe to another fitting on that CP3 pump. And if you undo that hose, bend it and check it, make sure it's not cracked all to shit. Pardon the language. Alright guys, I'm at my stop. I gotta get to work. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.